In a remote village nestled between two rugged mountains, lived a boy named Rafiq. He was born into poverty, with a father who worked as a stone cutter and a mother who stitched clothes to keep the family afloat. The village school barely had any books, and most children dropped out by the age of 10 to help their parents in the fields. But Rafiq was different. From a very young age, Rafiq had an unshakable dream. He wanted to become a doctor. Every time someone in the village fell ill and had to be taken miles away to the nearest hospital, Rafiq would watch with helpless eyes. He would sit beside the patients, ask questions, and try to understand the pain they were in. Though he had no formal knowledge, he had a natural curiosity and a heart full of determination. Rafiq studied under the flickering light of a kerosene lamp. His books were old, donated by a retired teacher who had seen something special in the boy. Rafiq would walk 6 kilometers every day to school, carrying a bag made of cloth, patched in places but always neat. While others laughed at his dreams, he kept his focus. "One day, I'll wear a white coat and help my people," he would say, often to himself. When Rafiq passed his matriculation exams with top marks, everyone was surprised. No one in the village had ever made it that far. But college was expensive and Rafiq had no money. So he decided to take up work. In the mornings, he helped his father in the quarry, and in the evenings, he delivered groceries. Every rupee he earned was saved. He slept little and studied late into the night. He didn't let the exhaustion steal his resolve. 2 years later, he managed to apply for a medical entrance exam in the nearby city. He had never seen the inside of a proper exam hall before, never used a calculator, and barely understood the online registration process. But he figured it out, asking for help when needed, and never letting shame or fear stop him. On the day of the result, Rafiq stood outside a small internet cafe, hands trembling. When the page loaded, he had secured a place in a government medical college on merit. He had done it. The villagers, once skeptical, now gathered at his doorstep with sweets and tears. His father, a man of few words, placed a rough, calloused hand on Rafiq's shoulder and whispered, "You've carved your own path, son." Medical school was no less challenging. Rafiq barely had enough for textbooks or even food at times. But he cleaned classrooms, tutored juniors, and made sacrifices no one saw. His grades stayed strong, his resolve stronger. After 5 long years, he graduated with honors. He returned to his village not in a fancy car, but in a humble van packed with medicines and a borrowed examination table. He turned the old community hall into a clinic, and villagers who once doubted him now came with folded hands and hopeful hearts. No one had to walk miles anymore. Rafiq was their doctor, their own. Moral of the story: where there is a will, there is always a way. Determination and hard work can overcome even the toughest obstacles. Dreams backed by action, no matter how impossible they seem, can become reality.